Welcome to Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, and I got a double dose of entrepreneurship today. Two of my favorite entrepreneurs, they're rocking and rolling. You may not know their names like Deepak Chopra or Cameron Diaz or all of the other notable spirits of excellence that have been on the Playbook with over 1,600 episodes. But I'll tell you, these guys represent more to me about entrepreneurship and the abundance that can be created by providing jobs, giving money, and teaching so many people how to make more money, help people, and have fun. I have my dear friend Joe Tolzmann in the house. He's the CEO, founder of RocketPlan, always here providing service and value, and he's made an extreme introduction to me. I'd never heard of this guy myself, but Phil DePaul is here, CEO of BoomZeal Enterprises, multiple contracting businesses that can help provide not only protection and promotion to his customers and clients over the years, but also an abundant attitude, as we'll find out, giving back to his community in a variety of different ways. Gentlemen, welcome to the Playbook.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, very much appreciate it.
Both of you, and I mean this in the greatest light. I had mentioned beforehand, I'm a toptimist. Both of you guys, no offense, Joe Tolzmann especially, you guys are average Joes. You are American dreams. And that's the part that I love the most. I still tell people today, gentlemen, that it's the only country in the world, America, that you can grow up literally on the street and end up to be one of, if not the richest or the most famous, most powerful, most impactful person in your industry, career, or job. And both of you are proving that. And I'm going to start with you, Phil. Your journey has led you to be an extraordinary entrepreneur, but what led you in the path to believe that you could have such a huge success in your life?
Yeah, first of all, love the platform. Happy to be here. I am average in every sense of the word. The tail of the tape says I am as generic as they come. I think the only thing that might set me apart is my sharp mouth and my unrelenting attitude towards just trying to grow and do something that makes makes life feel kind of special. So yeah, my where does it come from? I think it comes from, I have to give a big thank you to my parents. They really created just an atmosphere of love, support, and you could be anything you want to be, and you don't really know that when you're growing up, but when you have the perspective to look back, I think it gave me the optionality to feel like I could do anything. I was going to be a professional wrestler at one point in time. They said, yeah, go for it. I went in this direction, that direction. No matter what, it was unconditional. And when it came time to growing and maturing, I've had so many thought leaders. I'm staring at Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and I've read or listened to your book. I consume audiobooks voraciously. I love your podcast. My mind doesn't stop, and my hands never stop. So I was always active, physically, mentally, and thankfully I was geared in a good direction. So consumed a lot of information that's, I feel like, set me up to be on an entrepreneurial journey long before I ever had my own business. So I think the wisdom that comes from just living your life and trying to step outside yourself, looking at the decisions you're making, trying to act like the person you want to become, has always been what I've been doing, faking it till you make it. And yeah, I was never in business officially until I bought my first franchise, but I felt like I was on a journey for, 15, 20 years to get to that point. And now you could say I'm living the dream. So.
Well, if you became a professional wrestler, you'd be dealing with the other Dave Meltzer, who is very well known in the wrestling world. He's probably the most famous wrestling journalist, MMA, UFC journalist today. And people get us confused all the time. But Joe Tolzmann, this idea of having a desire to develop skills, to develop knowledge, and complement it with the desire that Phil has, is a common denominator. It has no set outcome or attachment. You started by immigrating to the United States and working the back bar at the Dairy Queen because you were too afraid to work the till because language was a barrier and your confidence was a barrier, but you never stopped developing your skills, your knowledge, and your desire, and you don't identify your own personal development with the business you're in, right? I tell people all the time, they're like, you're so lucky. You've always loved what you do. I'm like, who in the world would love, selling legal research online in 1992 with slow modems and XT computers? I look at both of your professions in the plumbing and junk removal and, contracting and SaaS solutions for contracting and restoration and all the things you guys do. And let's be honest, there's not a 5-year-old right now watching TV when he has his eyes on football, baseball, hockey, soccer, wrestling, whatever it is, going, man, someday I want to be Joe and Phil. I want to run that plumbing business. I want to be in the restoration side of things. But yet, when they get to be 40 or 50 years old, they'll say, man, I wish I would have built something like Joe and Phil. For you, how did you stay focused on the skills, the knowledge, and desire, and not worry about the Dairy Queens or the restoration or the SaaS solutions that you deal with each day?
David, there's so much I can relate to what Phil was saying. Not too long ago, becoming average was just a dream. Like I could say English. It was something I dreamed I could do one day, and I really worked towards that. But long time ago, I realized what I want to do. Grade 1, I was 6 years old. I get this cartoon character book for my birthday, and I bring it to school. I show it to my friends. Everybody loves it. Everybody wants it. So I get this idea. I want to share it with my classmates, but I want to make some money too. So I started selling it, making prints and selling it to my classmates for their lunch money. So I took a blank piece of paper, put it over the page in a book, traced around the characters, colored them in, start selling them. Now, suddenly I'm getting these orders. I got to schedule weeks in advance to fill in. And it was such an overwhelming feeling, but I knew it. This is what I want to do. I want to provide value to people, give them what they want. Obviously, I want to make some money too. Then I got into big trouble. Teacher found out. My parents were called to school. I had to return the money, but my classmates got to keep the print, so that was good. The big deal was, where did I even get this idea from? But this was Croatia, part of communist Yugoslavia at the time. Business was not encouraged. But it clicked to me one day, I'm going to get the hell out of there. I want to do business. This is what I want to do. I want to be an entrepreneur.
That is amazing. And although I referred to both of you as a perception that people participate in as average Joe the plumber, average Joe the damage restoration, average Joe the SaaS solution, junk removal, water restoration group, whatever it is, the BoomZeal guy. I don't think, although you were looking to be an average Joe, that good enough was going to be enough for either of you. And Phil, your record of being the #1 award winner in so many different areas, whether it be countrywide in franchising or in Long Island specifically, or whatever you do, even in the eye of the hurricane, as we see so many here falling in Southern California and Florida again, good enough is not enough for you. More than good success and honored effort and the resilience that most people have, you have something special inside of you that you must be what you can be. How do you stay inspired when you reach a level of good enough to be the best?
Yeah, I don't even know the answer to that question. All I can speak to is that, I used to call it a demon inside of me, but has too much of a negative vibe. I think at the end of the day, I've just always had this, it's an unrelenting drive towards, whether it's competition, it starts externally. Love sports, obviously you could appreciate that. Grew up playing anything, everything, wherever I could. But then it very quickly, as I matured, turned into an internal competition. So what it was I just always kept wanting to push the boundaries on my life experience, the impact I could have. And the thing I always came back to, especially sports, team success. So the thing that always got me excited was, who's alongside me? Who am I passing the ball to? Who am I, on, the court or the field with, hypothetically? And I appreciate the accolades. We're trying to lead the pack collectively as an organization in many ways. We've been recognized for it. And we really just use our values. They started as my values, but now they've been adopted by dozens of people who see something in this BoomZeal vision, this journey, this compilation of service companies. And I love the word service. To be of service literally means to do something, to be action oriented, and ideally to do that for others. So where does it start? Like, I think that the thing that really gets me going is when I see other people around me have success. And if I could have an impact on others to reach a new level in their life or career that they maybe didn't know possible or didn't know how to get there, like, that's success. So the accolades, I think that the measuring stick of if you're on the right track might be, number one, top of the leaderboard. But then I go to the one next to me and I say, all right, now outdo me, raise the bar. I think that it's the pursuit of excellence, being process oriented has always been the thing that I've come back to. I'm hard on myself. Everyone wants to be number one. Everyone wants to win. Sometimes winning is just playing. I mean, one of my biggest influences right now is Alex Hormozy. I can't get over his concept of play the game. You only lose if you quit. So whatever that is, that's your life, that's your business. Just keep getting after it. And I'm fortunate because there's something inside of me that has always kind of propelled me to do things, to take action. And in fact, that's what my family says about me. Phil, he likes to do things. He doesn't sit still. You guys are sitting, I'm at my standing desk. So again, it's just some people have, just have a passion. My passion is, I don't know, trying to make things happen.
I love it when I'm standing as well. And Alex and Layla Hermosi will be on office hours as we film again, and they've been in the past. And understanding, it's so interesting that you point that out, because I learned more in sports than I did in college, grad school, or business school. And one of the greatest lessons I learned from playing football was my college football coach, who said, because I would get too excited when I was successful and too depressed when I was a failure, he would always say, just keep playing. And, if you do your best, learn lessons, and have fun playing, your baseline will improve in aggregate, compound, and accelerate, and you will far exceed your own expectations, but never your self-image. Now, Joe, you also do a lot more than just business. You have a bigger picture in your mind, a higher level of thinking, a bigger self-image. Both of you listen to and read all of the same things. I've been in the book Think and Grow Rich Legacy and the movie The Secret and Beyond the Secret, trying my best to surround myself with the people who are writing the books to help as well. But you think bigger. I know Phil does triathlons. You spend an inordinate amount of time, for someone that runs all these businesses, on your personal development. How important is it, for someone that is hyper productive, accessible, and gracious, to spend the time and the money on personal development?
It's critical. Life is a journey. So it's not like we get to one point, we reach the goal, and that's it, we're done. Like, it's continuous growth. There's always things we need to learn. With the growth, we go to the areas we haven't been before. So it's always new. There's always something new to learn, to put together. And what I found works the best for me is talk to as many people as possible and just hear everyone's story, everyone's experience, and apply to what we're doing in our circumstances.
It's amazing. Phil, I have come across a quote last week that has changed my life. And it was from an Academy Award winning coach who did the Academy Award winning documentary Undefeated. And he said to me, David, he's a coach down in Tennessee. He said, I never thought my life would be as far as I've gotten. I just wanted to give back and be a coach. And I know you coach so many people, and I am proud to coach Joe, and someday Phil, I hope to coach as well. But he said to me, David, players win games, but coaches, they win players. And you have a favorite quote that I know that is similar to me, synergistic with the idea that players win games and coaches win players. And it's, leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. And I think as we have the idea on my mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, to make more money, help more people, and have more fun, that the unsung heroes, the unsung leaders are sitting in, the moving space, the hauling space, the trash and junk space, the restoration space, the small business space, the #1 franchise space. What are you doing today to live by that quote of not creating followers, letting the players win the game, but creating leaders yourself?
Man, so short answer, not enough. We could always be doing more, but uh, what am I doing? Trying to build an organization that is not like every other one, that's built on, the cultural fabric of who we are first and what we do later. As you can see by all the emblems behind me, I call them butterflies. I've had a penchant for chasing butterflies because I see everything as an opportunity. And then I take that opportunity on and I go, what was I thinking? Because I put more and more on my plate, which I've learned so many lessons in the last 4+ years of being on this entrepreneurial journey, that it's the people who I've brought in that help me see those values, the ones that I valued inside myself and was trying to manifest into the world through our organization, which started as United Water Restoration Group, that made me think that, oh, it was just me, but then there's one more. And then there's one more. And it's the momentum of seeing people like believe in what you believe in, the validation that, what, these crazy ideas, maybe they're a little crazy, but they should be worth chasing if you're going to do it. And just because personal development is in my blood, I'm staring at another quote. I was listening to, and I listen a lot now. I love reading, but I have to listen
I'm
because
with you, man. I got a load. If it
sit
doesn't
there,
come in
right?
an audio book, I use AI. By the way, one of the tricks I use, there's a book by J.J. Palmer in 1850. So there's no audio book. I know there's a trick that you can get the PDF, and then through AI, you can say, hey, create an audio book in David Meltzer's voice or in it's so awesome. I can make my own audiobooks now.
That's fantastic. So I want to drop this because it builds on what you said about building more leaders and helping me see, hey, because a dream exists in your mind, in your heart. The manifestation of it is when other people see it too. And, about a year ago, like I had serious buy-in from a partner of mine at one of my businesses, and it validated, oh, now it's real. It was like it was a baby in the world. This BoomZeal movement is not just a me thing. It's now like it's an us thing, and about building leaders. So I think it was the CEO of GE. I don't know if it was Jack Welch at the time, but Good to Great, Jim Collins highlights it. And what was their hedgehog concept? Being the best in the world at developing executive talent, deploying it in good businesses to produce great results. Steadily increasing profit per unit of executive talent was their metric. And as I kind of build this organization, it just I saved that because it resonated with me. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? It summed it up so well that I'm not sure how to change it, but that's the path that I'm on. Like I want to help change other people's lives, and maybe I can't change 1 million people's lives, but if I change 1 or 10 or whatever, then my life will have felt like it fulfilled something.
Well, you are sharing my mission, my friend, and I'm sure you and I will get closer and spend more time together with a perspective like that. There's no doubt providing quantitative value is so important. One of the difficult things for guys like the average Joes and the average Phils is articulating that quantitative value. I see it all the time in the solar business, for example, which is if I ever needed to make money, I could sell solar all day long because I can articulate the quantitative value and increase the emotional connection or attachment to solar, but it has math combined to it. Joe, one of the things I love about RocketPlan is that I can also never go broke again because I can sell RocketPlan any day of the week because it has so much of a quantitative value. The same holds true with Phil's business. How difficult was it for you to learn to articulate that quantitative value? Because I know you yourself were in the business and then created a solution out of the frustration of the wasted time, wasted money, and inaccuracies that were created in the business, which is why you created RocketPlan.
David, when I started, I was always focused on providing value to become valuable. But it's a grind, you know, coming from Croatia, not knowing the language, not having the network, basically not knowing anybody. It was like, is that even possible? Is that even possible? But then I'm so grateful to have you as a mentor, as a coach, as an advisor, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a good time. And that's always been a focus to create this culture of collaboration and growth where everybody works together, focused on delivering value. With RocketPlan, when I started the company, it was me and two more employees. We built this company to over 100 employees with branches in Vancouver and Calgary. When I started, I was the guy taking the calls, responding to the emergencies, middle of the night, weekends, evenings, anytime, working with my crew on a job site, cutting the drywall, demolition cleanup, gathering all this documentation, and then spending hours creating those reports, reporting to insurance companies, doing estimates, doing billing. And I was able to do that up until 20 employees. But then as we're getting bigger and bigger, we're hiring people for the office, estimators, extra bookkeepers, dedicated people to chasing people on a job site, to gathering all this documentation, to have it in one place. And we implemented 3 other different software for this vertical, went through lengthy implementation, 3 to 6 months, to come to conclusion, they don't work. And the reason for that is because they were built before smartphones really became smart. Back in the day, there was no other way but to open up the laptop, enter this information in, or send it to someone in the office and have them do it. And I was like, no, this is not good enough. So I figured I got to hire a software engineer, bring them on staff, and build something that actually works for the people in the field to do what they're doing anyways, capturing the documentation, but on a mobile device. So we built this prototype. It looked like 1980s DOS, black screen, green and red buttons, but it worked so well. We were able to gather all this documentation in one place, click the button, automate the reporting, have all the backup for estimating and billing in one place. And as a result of that, we cut out over 50% of that admin labor. We accelerated our cash flow because now we're able to invoice quickly, accurately, the moment the job is finished. Business was good. Now we're scoring new business from property managers, insurance adjusters, because us getting the documentation to them makes their lives easier. And one day I realized what a massive opportunity is to help the entire industry and scale SaaS company. So that's how we started RocketPlan.
Yeah, and I can attest to everything that you're saying, Joe. I mean, in this industry, details are everything. I mean, as a restorer, you got to quantify, qualify. You know, you're telling a story after the story has already happened.
Yeah. You know, the biggest challenge is you respond to someone middle of the night. It can be any time, helping them in distress. You're running around the job site day and night, putting their lives back to normal, helping them out. But then all the documentation sometimes takes even more, and you're not getting paid unless you're having this documentation. So I feel good about solving this problem for the industry because we're helping so many people that actually work on the ground, but also we're helping these homeowners putting their lives back to normal a lot quicker.
And last question real quick, Phil, you know, and I appreciate the testimonial as well, because I'm doing as much as I can to articulate the value of entrepreneurs like Joe and building and looking beyond and expanding beyond getting so busy working, you forget to make money when you can provide value and articulate it to so many different people. But ever since you've purchased the United Water Restoration Group, you know, over 14 years ago now, you now have so many different businesses, including One Tom Plumber, which is your newest venture. Why did you choose, with all the different businesses you have behind you, signified by those beautiful logos, why did you choose to go with One Tom Plumber as your next venture?
So I'll give you it's a two-prong answer. Number one, the economic opportunity, right? It's a staple business. I came from the plumbing wholesale industry. I spent 14 years in supply houses, helping my first, real job grow and expand their business. I got that job because my father has been a master. Well, he hasn't been a master up until recently, but he is a professional plumber for 40 plus years. And when I got into restoration, here we are, we're responsive, right? So after something bad happens, we are there to help clean up the mess. And one of the best lead referral sources in our business is plumbers. So there's a natural complement to being, and we are a 24/7 emergency service plumbing company, which there's value there, right? People need their drains cleared. They need their leaky pipes fixed. So it's not sexy. It's a staple business. Until we stop living in houses and structures, people are always going to need this business, right? So why did I choose it? That combined with the fact they have an exceptional culture. You meet the folks at One Time Plumber, they're onto something there. So their values speak to my values. But the more heart centric reason, I get to work with my dad now. So
Oh,
he's going to be a big part of this business, and moving forward, this is now going to become part of a family legacy. And I mean, it might have been a dream, right? Like I said, and now the manifestation of that dream is it's starting to happen, and it's exciting. And I look at my son and I just think, listen, he could do whatever he wants, but he'll have options just like I did. And I'm excited to be at this point.
well, we were certainly excited to have both you and Joe giving your playbooks of success. If you want to learn the mindset, the heart set, the handset to becoming a great entrepreneur, to making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun, there's no two better icons than the average Joes. Joe Tolzmann, CEO of RocketPlan Technologies, and of course, the amazing CEO of BoomZeal Enterprises, incorporating so many different businesses, but leading the way of building leaders. Phil DePaul, Joe Tolzmann, thank you for joining me. This is David Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.